What is up, YouTube? We are back with another awesome motovlog. The topic of today's video has become a controversial subject in a lot of the Facebook GX off-road and the GX460, 470 groups, and that is the Garage Alpha's GX470 TRD style grill. As you remember, back in July videos, I've talked about how I purchased one of these and it's finally arrived. Although it was painful, I really wanted to save the unboxing so I could do it on camera so that you get a true first impression from me on the grill. As I mentioned, this grill came in two different styles. You could get it with the Lexus logo or the Toyota logo badging on it. A lot of people, that's the controversial thing, a lot of people are not a big fan of the Lexus logo. I, for one, think it looks alright. I think it looks better than the condition of my current grill. I've got a plastic grill, which I think looks great, but I think this looks a lot cleaner and it'll kind of update the front end of the vehicle. So this grill came with an option to add raptor lights, and I went ahead and did that because I thought it would be a nice touch to have some amber daytime running lights in the grill. And let's see what this packaging looks like. So you can kind of see, we've got two boxes here. I'm assuming that this is the badge. Yep. This is the Lexus badging. So there we go. This is the Lexus logo that fits into the grill. I think it looks really good. I had seen some 3D printed ones, and I'll be honest, I was not a fan of the way the 3D printed looks. If it's not sanded and you can see all the print lines, I think that looks kind of bad, but this looks really clean. It looks OEM quality. It's got a high gloss to it. The plastic just looks good. I have seen people black this out. I don't think I'll black it out. I think if anything, I might tone this down to a darker gunmetal gray, but for now I'm going to keep it as is because I think the finish is much better than what Plasti Dip will be. So for now, I'm just going to keep that as is. Let's see, so the second box here. Oh, okay, so the Raptor lights are not installed already, so you have to install those yourself. These lights have what looks like there's 4 LEDs per light, and we got 3 of those lights, so we'll have to hook those up. And the most exciting part is the actual grill itself. There is some what looks like weather stripping, some foam with some adhesive backing on it. I honestly do not know what that'll be for, what that's supposed to be for. Here's some mounting bolts, but there are no nuts for the end of these bolts, so we'll have to investigate and see kind of what that is and if there's any additional hardware. But I heard some people talking about the hardware and not being big fans of it and to use the OEM hardware. So I'll take a glance at it and we'll see what it looks like. Wow, that looks awesome. This looks so clean. The quality of this plastic looks really good. I wanted to try to show this a little bit better up close. As you can see, there's these hexagon kind of shaped holes here, and you can really just fit this into any of those holes however you want. I think I want to go with these outermost ones, so just kind of slide this in. I think it should just click into place. Yep, that clicked right in. So that's pretty cool. I like that. The cool thing about having these click in is you can change the orientation after the fact. There's a nice wire harness here which enables a quick disconnect from this cable setup. Okay, good. I got worried for a second, didn't think there was hardware to mount this Lexus logo, but looks like there was a set of 4 screws here, and really all you do is very straightforward. This just sits down in there like that, and then once you're in here, you've got a hole. There's 4 different holes. Alright, So now that we got that logo pointed in, let's turn it over and see how it looks. Wow, let me zoom this out a little bit. This looks awesome. I'm a huge fan of the way this looks. These Raptor lights here, kind of nicely spaced across, look great. You know, I see a lot of people are not a big fan of this font. I'm not so sure how I feel about it yet. I do think I would prefer just the standard Lexus logo that's in the GXs from factory. That logo in the center with maybe the rest of this filled in black with some plastic to kind of fill this in, or maybe just these horizontal lines that are in here already and just have the main Lexus logo. I would pay extra if Garage Alpha comes out with this, but just in general, the look of this thing, I mean, that looks awesome. This looks way better than the stock grill. This is my own personal opinion, but I'd like to say thank you, Garage Alpha, for giving us GX470 users a way to upgrade our vehicles. We're all constantly modifying our vehicles. We're all trying to, you know, keep them looking good over time. This is a great way to keep the front end of our cars looking more upgraded, and so thank you for that. We all appreciate it. I think everybody in the GX470 user group, you know, really appreciates this grill. I see everybody posting on Instagram lately about how excited they are. So this is great. There's no more assembly that can be done in here. I say we just go out to the car and take out the old grill, put this one in its place. We'll hook up these wires and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so to remove the old grill, all you need is a 10mm socket and just pop the hood up and you can take all these bolts out. So once you have those bolts off, you can undo, there's a little rod here that there's a piece of red plastic you just kind of pop off and it loosens this whole rod from the hood latch assembly. And you just kind of pull the whole grill about. So one thing that we do need to do is, as you can see, mine's duct tape right here because I broke this tab way back, but that holds up really well actually. But what we do need to do is we need to transfer this latch, this hood latch, over to this piece right here, which is on the Garage Alpha grill. So that is also the same 10mm socket that the hood bolts were, so that makes it easy. Alright, so I was checking out the way the new mounting hardware looks versus the old. This is one of the older ones, and it actually fits in here much snugger than the way the ones that they provided. So this is the factory hardware. It pulls right out of the grill very easily. I'm just going to transfer all those over. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip this grill upside down here and put it in the way we took it out. So I went ahead and got all these bolts into place and the grill is mounted. Before doing the Raptor lights, I just want to close the hood and make sure the fitment of the grill is correct. I was reading some people saying about there being fitment issues, and I think that might be able to be solved by loosening up all the bolts and aligning the grill in center and then tightening everything down from there. So I just want to close it and kind of see if there's any of that happening. I think overall this looks great. It's a really good fit. Maybe some people had some variances in the manufacturing process that caused some of the difference in fitment, but for me, I'd say this looks great. Looks way better than the factory grill to me. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the Raptor lights and get those wired in. I'm going to just splice them into the amber daytime running lights of the headlights, and because these are low current LEDs, you'll be fine to just splice those into the daytime running lights and they'll illuminate just fine, and they won't draw enough power to cause any issues with overloading the circuit and getting any fuse blowing there. So I'm going to hook that up. Alright, so to make this a cleaner looking install, I want to run this wiring harness back behind this panel here. Alright, to give you a better understanding of the process here, I took the cable, ran it up under the hood piece to kind of keep that clean, tucking it in around the side here. I haven't tucked it up just yet, but I took the battery out to give me all this extra room, and what I did is I used these wire tap splices on the black goes to the white and the red goes to the red. This is the daytime running light bulb socket. As you can see, the bulb is taken out. The bulb being removed makes it a lot easier to get in there and put those splices on, and really at this point this is all you need to do to hook up the Raptor lights. Other than that, we're just going to have to connect these connectors. Alright, so I wanted to kind of give everybody a heads up. Those splicers are like 14 to 18 gauge, so I'm actually manually going in and splicing in here. I pulled back the housing in the middle section of the cable, wrapped the 12 gauge wire around it, and the cool thing is I got all this extra room by pulling out this harness. This harness clipped up underneath here, and unclicking that from a little bracket that was holding it on gave me a whole lot better access to be able to just work in this area where the battery was. So I just wanted to update everybody that the tap splices do not work in this scenario. So I'm doing the old school tapping in from the side, just pulling back the sheathing, wrapping it up, and it should work just as well. So just wanted to update you on that. Alright, so I wanted to splice this in to show everybody an alternative to the current wiring setup for the Raptor headlights. Last night, as I was thinking about it, and I don't know why I didn't think of it at the time, but daytime running lights mean daytime running lights. So at night last night, after I hooked everything up, I realized, hey wait, these Raptor lights are not going to illuminate at night, and I want them to illuminate both in the daytime and at night. So I'm making an extension upon the wiring. You can hook up to either or the daytime running lights or the headlights for the high or low beam. Me personally, I hooked up to daytime running lights, and that was great, but I also would like them to run when the headlights are on. Unfortunately, those two circuits are opposite of each other, so I decided to come up with a simple little relay circuit. It actually is a relay form of an OR gate, and so essentially what this circuit will do is it is basically if the daytime running lights or the headlights are on, the output of this circuit will switch 12 volts to the Raptor lights. So regardless of the switch settings, whether it's the daytime running lights or the headlights, the Raptor lights will always stay on. But this is the circuit that I currently have set up. As you can see, I have two different single pole, single throw relays. I've got the daytime running lights triggering the first relay, which switches 12 volts through to the Raptor lights, and then alternatively the same mechanism to do the same switching on this other relay. The headlights switch this relay and cause the 12 volts that took to this switch to run and drive the Raptor lights. So this gives us an option so that either or are on, the Raptor lights will illuminate. Here's a picture of the diagram, but when I go to edit this video, I'll make a nicer version of it, and so that you guys can pause and screenshot and get a much better idea of what is going on here. I'm not going to go into all the details because I'll show that diagram, and I think you should be able to figure it out. I'll put all the parts in the description, all the links. I got this stuff at AutoZone because it was right down the street. Very easy for me to just swing over there and do that. So I just bolted these two relays together, and then I have all these wires hooked up. So for triggering the headlight 12 volt to turn on the Raptor lights, for that, since I already have the splice for the daytime running lights, I'm just going to keep that splice. But so I didn't have to splice into the wiring harness for the headlights, I decided to go with one of these fuse splicers. This enables you to have a connection from a fuse to a wire, and it comes with a nice crimp connector, so I was able to crimp a nice length wire on there so I could extend that and run it out of the box all the way down to where I'll mount this up near the headlights. And so this has a fuse built into it. There's a secondary fuse, so you can do two different fuse circuits there. But what's cool about this is it enables me to have a clean tap into the headlights, and I don't have to go splicing that harness, which will be nice. And then for the actual 12-volt source that I show on this diagram, I have that hooked up to a little ring terminal, and I'm just going to put that on the 12 volts from the battery to drive this. This will give me the solution that I personally want. I want the Raptor lights to be on regardless of daytime running or headlights. If you don't care and you just want them to be daytime running light Raptor lights, then you can hook it up the way I did it. If you want them to be on when they're headlights, you can hook them up to the headlights. But if you want them to be on essentially kind of all the time, there's probably some other areas where you could splice in and do that, but this is the circuit I came up with. I'm just used to working with relays, and so I decided, well, I want it to be an OR gate. I think this will be a good solution. If you want to follow along, if you have questions, comment down below, reach out to me, and let me know if you have any questions about wiring this up. Alright, so here's the relay box. I taped it up. We've got our connection over here for the daytime running lights. We have a connection that I ran this red wire back around. It comes up through the side here for the hook in for the fuse. Now this just kind of plugs into this position here, which is the high-low, or the headlight bulb low, and that's the right side one. So I just plugged into this fuse location. So what this does is it replaces the fuse, and it gives you the opportunity to plug in a secondary circuit. So I'm plugging that in here like that. Ran the cable out this so that we still kind of keep everything sealed, and that's cables routed cleanly. And then I'm going to throw the battery in and show you the last two connections, because I've got these ring terminals that I need to hook up to the battery. But the main connections here are headlight, daytime running light to the relays. Either or of those being turned on will cause this to fire and will drive out to the Raptor lights, which are up in the grill. And other than that, it's just a 12-volt source from the battery and a ground connected to the battery. Alright, so here it is with the battery in. We've got a ring connector on here for our ground. We got the other one over here for the positive 12 volts. And so now this should be good to go. Just accidentally hit the key to lock and unlock, and I realized before I even got to test it, I realized, hey, this is working. And it's also cool that the key fob for locking and unlocking the vehicle causes these to blink, which I think that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go into the car and just turn on the headlights and validate that the Raptor lights come on also. So it looks like they'll work with the daytime running, and they should also work with the headlights. So I'm going to switch back and forth between those and just kind of see what it looks like. Alright, cool. So these are running with the headlights, which is great. I'm going to double check with the daytime running. Alrighty, and there we have it. So daytime running lights, these are also working. Alright, so there we have it. Looks like this is a good solution for having the Raptor lights running regardless of the light settings, whether you're driving around in the daytime or you're driving around at night. So this looks pretty awesome to me. So we'll go out and we'll get some good shots of this, get some up close detail so you can kind of see a little bit of an up close view of what this thing actually looks like, especially with these lights running. Alright, that's a wrap on the Garage Alpha TRD style grill install video. Like I said, reach out in the comment section below if you have any questions about the install or any of the wiring. If you like this video, go give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate the feedback from the audience and what kinds of videos you as a community want to see. Also, if you're interested in more GX470 videos, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. You'll get updates every time I upload new videos. As a reminder, at the end of this month, on October 28th, I'm holding a virtual Cars and Coffee right here on the Awesomoto channel. You can find the promo video for it on Instagram and also here on YouTube. I'll also be posting up the queue for the live session, so you can go and hit the reminder button for when that starts. And that's about all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.